The groupset arms race has taken an interesting turn today with the release of Rotor's new hydraulic 1x13 speed groupset. This all-new modular drivetrain is designed for road bikes, mountain bikes, gravel bikes and cyclocross bikes with a shared derailleur and chain in the drivetrain. Everything else, so the shifters, the cassettes, the chainrings, are all discipline specific. So we have flat bar shifter, drop bar shifters, cassette ratios which will work with all those different disciplines, and a range of chainrings from 38 to 54 tooth in 2-tooth steps. So I'm sure the question you're all asking is, why go 13s? We've just seen Shimano release its 12-speed groupset in the form of XTR M9100, and we've of course had SRAM Eagle for a few years. So why do we feel the need to have another cog? Now critically, and especially if we look at this from a road perspective, a 13-speed groupset gets us close to the range and number of gears available with a 2x11 setup. So although a 2x11 setup in theory has 22 gears, in use it only has 14 gears. Now that's a generalization, but it stands true for most combinations. So with the largest and the biggest range cassette, which in this case is a 10 to 52 tooth cassette, we can get almost as many gear combinations as a 2x11 setup, but critically we get that range with the steps which are smaller than you would get with an equivalent 12-speed setup. So from a road perspective, Rotor is presumably trying to silence any doubters who are saying that a 1x setup isn't good enough for the road. And there's 4 different cassettes available, starting from a impressively compact 10 to 36, a 10 to 39, a 10 to 42, and that aforementioned 10 to 52 tooth cassette. Nobody's going to pretend that going for a 1x setup on the road doesn't take a bit more forward thinking than a double setup, but it's still really interesting to see that with that wide range of chain rings and those 4 cassettes, you're pretty much going to be able to cover any scenario. I'm sure you're all wondering how on earth Rotor has managed to accomplish this, and the answer is, I don't really know at this stage. We haven't had masses of details, but we've been assured that the details we've seen are of a working groupset. One thing in particular I'm really interested to learn more about is how Rotor has fitted a 10-tooth cog onto what looks like, at least in the photos, a regular HG style, Shimano style free hub body. Normally, the smallest cog you can fit to these is an 11-tooth, and I suspect, and this is just a suspicion, that that cog will perhaps sit very slightly outboard of the free hub body. We've seen something quite similar to this, though it's a slightly different form, in Shimano's new 12-speed XTR cassette, though of course that uses the microspline free hub body. However, one thing that we do know is the drivetrain uses a regular 12-speed chain, and in the images provided that's a regular KMC X12 chain. That's particularly interesting because in that 14-speed patent I mentioned before, a radically different chain design was used. So to manage to fit 13 cogs with a regular roller chain is no mean feat. Now, having a 13-speed groupset is obviously one of the big shouting points here, but the fact that it's hydraulic is almost as exciting. Now, we've had Rotor's Uno groupset, which is a 2x11 hydraulic groupset, for some years now, and a number of BikeRadar testers have really enjoyed using this. In particular, the rear shifting feels fantastic, and that multi-shift performance where you can shift up or down loads of cogs in a oneer, and you can kind of tune it to your preferences, is something we've been particularly fond of. However, the one thing we've almost universally found to be a little lackluster is the front shifting. However, in this case, with a 1x setup, we don't need to worry about it. And that makes the case for a hydraulic groupset, in our eyes at least, a little bit more compelling. Another benefit of a hydraulic groupset, and you can say the same of a Di2 or SRAM ETAP groupset, is the lack of maintenance. Our own Ollie Woodman has been using an Orbea Avant equipped with a Rotor Uno groupset for the last few months and has found it's taken next to no maintenance to keep it shifting sweet. Another supposed advantage of a hydraulic groupset is the weight, and in this case, we don't know yet. We're going to have a lot of fun getting to find out more details. We're really curious to find out how on earth Rotor has made this groupset 13 speed, and this is one we're seriously excited to try out ourselves. So keep an eye out on the channel and BikeRadar.com. In the meantime, don't forget to like or subscribe.